This is the Desert Shamans channel. We're going to talk about all kinds of things today in relationship to, well, let's say shamanism, or let's say medicine man, or let's say curandero, or anybody that's a healer or medicine man, or shamans are the same thing. Teachers, we're going to talk about that, definitions and that kind of thing. Got 24 new viewers on the channel, so I'm glad you're here. Probably the drumming might have attracted you, or the talk of shamanism and freedom and getting outside the superficial reality, the artificial reality, and getting into other realities through meditation and consciousness and trance drumming and that type of thing. So that's why we're here, to offer an alternative to the same old blah-bitty blah 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 about all the bad news and what's going on in the world. And we already know, like I said before, I've many times, many videos in the past, I've covered everything from Jade Helm to wars and, political bullshit and everything that's going on ad nauseum. But after a while, you realize it's just a tape loop. So you're on to other things that are more productive and more motivational and more spiritual, to be frank with you. Very spiritual. I thought I would talk a little bit about labels that people put on things like shamans and medicine men, and we might touch on the word pagan too, because that seems to be thrown into the mix as well, has been for a long time. I think I'll start off with that one. So what is a pagan? Well, the definition in the online, in the dictionary, Merriam-Webster, wherever you go, it's pretty much the same. The nice definition is somebody that worships in the form of polytheism, or many gods instead of just one god, or somebody that doesn't recognize the God of the Bible, or somebody that is in nature, worships the gods of nature, that type of thing. So that's what the original pagans were. Nothing bad here, people. That name was used derogatorily, and it is today, by quote unquote these good so-called Christians, that want to and have been and want to condemn anybody that doesn't believe the way they do, basically. So you could say that, let's say, a medicine man, or even tribal people, or let's say indigenous people, or the original people of Europe, they all worship. Basically, what they worship is the manifestation of what they call Great Spirit, which is nature, which is probably the closest thing that you will ever see of what you think God is, as far as actual in your reality, surrounding you. And that's a good thing. You should tune into that. And see, that's what drumming does. That's what trance drumming. Now let's take the word trance here, because sometimes there's negative connotations. Oh, he's in a trance, man. He's hypnotized. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's out of his mind. Quite the contrary. When you go into a trance state in a drum technique, or, through drumming, when you go into a trance technique, like I said before, you're already in a trance, okay? This channel is here to help you, and this channel is going to free you up. That's why it's such a good channel, because I'm here to free people up. I'm not here to, encumber people or make people feel guilty or make people feel down and out or anything like that. I'm here to cheer people up. My purpose is to raise your consciousness to a higher level. Okay. So the trance that you're in everyday life, the everyday reality, the everyday bullshit, okay, if you'll excuse my French, is what we're trying to get out of, because that's an illusion. It's a joke. It's a trick. It's mass propaganda, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse as days goes on. So you're going to have to deal with this increase in, let's say, negativity. You have to deal with it somehow. How do you deal with it? Nobody offers any hope out there. It's all false hope. It's either, Christ is going to come down on a cloud and save everybody, or the white hats, or this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Why wait? Why wait? Why not take your own course, your own path right now, and start getting into higher states of consciousness and higher realities and alternative realities, like Castaneda said so many times, a different kind of reality. Because that's the only way that you're going to get relief, is by being able to shapeshift or jump into different realities. Because truth be known, there's all kinds of realities around us, okay? There's all kinds of realities. There's all kinds of dimensions. There's all kinds of beings in other dimensions. Benevolent beings. So when I say take you out of the trance, and go into another trance, okay? The trance that you're in, which is basically a trance, is just a state of mind, a locked-in state of mind where you're just locked in, okay? And you're tranced out. Well, that's what's happening with everybody in America and around the world. They're locked in, they're tranced out, they're numbed out, they're dumbed down, okay? But what I'm doing, and what shamanistic drumming and what shamanistic techniques and what shamanism in general does, is show you what's really going on behind the veil, behind the big picture. But, it actually is a means to connect to spirit forces, benevolent spirit forces, okay? Now, some people get afraid, or they get scared when you start talking about spirit forces. Yet, like I said before, they can talk all day long about their spirit guides, okay, or the New Age term spirit guides, or their guardian angels. I prefer guardian spirit because everyone has one. And the spiritual realm, which is there to basically help mankind if they so desire to be helped. That's why shamans, okay, and medicine men, let's define this. Why is it called medicine? Well, because it's good medicine. Or, what is a shaman? A shaman and a medicine man and a curandero and whatever names that arise concerning the person in that tribe or that realm or that area that was, people went to for help, for healing. They always used the spirits for healing, calling in the spirits for healing. And they've had miraculous results time and time and time again. Okay. So right now we're in a period of time where we need healing. Okay. We need a major healing on this planet because of the negative, absolute, horrific things that they're laying on everybody's head with the propaganda and the wars and the pandemics and the financial this and that and all the stuff that's going on out there. It's a wonder people haven't completely lost it, and I would say a lot of people already have. They're under so much stress and pressure and anxiety, trying to make ends meet, trying to live in a world that is on the brink of nuclear annihilation, just all kinds of things going on out there that unless you have a buffer, unless you have some kind of buffer zone, or unless you have some kind of help, then you're swimming in a sea of turmoil and looking for a life raft, okay? And this is your life raft. Having fun with drums, okay? And I will be doing more drum lessons. I will be giving more drum lessons to people, showing them different techniques and how they can play around with, you know, their drum that they have. And a lot of people have told me they've gone out and gotten drums since I started this, and they're eagerly anticipating a lot of this stuff. So we're going to have fun with that. We're going to have fun with that. But what I'm talking about right now is the absolute necessity for you to understand what healing really is all about on a spiritual and on a physical and on a mental level. Especially the spiritual level, because the spiritual level and the mental level all affects the physical level, and it can bring the physical level back into tune. All illness comes from thought, okay, and that's what they're trying to perpetuate on people through the propaganda and the lies. And you can't go anywhere anymore and not run into a pack of lies, okay? So people are getting confused. It's like, well, wait a minute, what's this? What's right? What's wrong? What's, you know, they're getting confused because it's a psychological warfare against mankind. So the only way that we're going to be able to, in my opinion, to combat that is to have a resurgence of shamanism, and that means getting into your own personal power, okay? And getting into the power that can be given to you by benevolent spirits or by guardian spirits or by, because see, this all exists. This all exists just because you haven't seen, okay, or you haven't taken that journey and seen it for yourself doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And that's why I'm here, to take you on that journey or to teach you. And I've got videos in the past with trance drum beats, and I've got videos after that telling you how to take journeys, okay, in your mind while you're listening to the trance drum beats. Trance is a good thing if you're using it to access other realms. It's been done for thousands of years. I think probably shamans have been around 30,000 years. Been around a long time. And they're in every culture. They're in the Hindu culture, the North American Native culture, the South American, the Colombian culture, the Aztecs. I mean, it goes way back. All kinds of practices in Europe, okay? Just a whole plethora, okay, of history. And if you look at it, and you know, there's some great books on shamanism. There's some excellent books. that I will be showing you, and then I will be giving you tidbits of information from. I will be showing you and explaining to you historical, the history of shamanism and the history of curanderos, who mostly use herbs, and the history of medicine men in the North American. You watch the old movies, right? And you see, you watch the old Western movies, and you see these portrayals of medicine men, and it's they hardly ever portray them in a good light. It's mostly, oh, let's go get the Western medical doctor, because these guys are quacks. Well, actually, no, they weren't. Okay, they had more miraculous healings and more miraculous events through them, okay, through their mediation with spirits and spirit forces. And we got spirit forces all around us. Make no mistake about it. They're all around us. They're there to help us. And where do these spirit forces come from? Well, they're helpers of the Great Spirit, okay? And the Great Spirit is benevolent, the real Great Spirit, not the God of the Bible, not the monstrous, scorched earth policy God of the Bible, the one that told Joshua to go into Jericho and kill every man, woman, child, baby, infant, animal, probably killed the plants too. I mean, that's called a scorched earth policy. What kind of God does that? What kind of loving, compassionate God does that? No, I'd rather make a direct connection, and I always have, with the Great Spirit, okay, which is the divine emanation or the divine or immaculate consciousness. That's what's happening, okay? And off of that, there are many different benevolent spirits in the universe, okay? And those are the ones that, that you meet when you take a journey with the drum. When you take a journey with the drum, those are the ones that you meet, okay? Because those are the ones in your mind that you want to meet. You have an intention to meet somebody that's going to help you, not somebody that's going to hurt you, okay? Now, some theories, posit the fact that a lot of these spiritual entities come from different planetary sources as well, okay? And this goes way back in the Native American tradition with Star Brothers and emergences, like in the Hopi thing, and ancestral mythology. Usually it incorporates the stars at some point, and the influence of the stars and the effects of the stars on you, and how to tune into that aspect of it. So there's all kinds of spirits from all kinds of different places. There's the Star Nation, okay? So when you go into these other realities as a shaman, and I'm training people to be a shaman, okay, it's not that hard to have an experience where you use spirits to your benefit, okay, and just start thinking in those terms. Start thinking in those terms, like there's someone standing right next to you that's your best friend and that wants to help you. All they want is to be acknowledged. All they want is you to gain access to them, or to make an effort to gain access, okay? This whole thing, this whole Christianity, let's say Judaism and Islamic religions, they're all from, and I've touched on this before, they're all from the one father, Abraham. But somewhere along the line, okay? This all got corrupted. This was all put out for an agenda to control mankind, to make mankind feel guilt, fear, anxiety, always trying to please God, being born into sin, that type of thing, which is just a crock of bullshit, okay? Nobody's born into sin, okay? You don't be born into sin because somebody thousands of years ago, okay, made a mistake. That's just about the most absurd thing that could ever be taught or believed, okay? If you want real help, if you want real, enlightenment, then you're going to have to raise your consciousness and realize that you're one with the Creator. You can't be apart from the Creator. You are God, Goddess in a sense, okay? And that sense is you're part of it. If if my arm is attached to my body, okay, or if my eye is attached to my body, and the body is a corporal, a being, a spiritual being, well then the arm is also that being. The eye is also that being. The mouth is also that being. So what I'm saying is, if we're all a part of the universe and we're all a part of the God essence and the immaculate consciousness and the emanation, no, it's not a big guy sitting up in the sky with a beard, okay? That would be more in line with the demiurge, okay, spoken of by the Gnostics, okay, of the false God that's misleading people. So what you want to do is you don't want to have to rely on, let's say, scripture, biblical scripture, or that concept, the Jewish concept of a God that's mean and hurtful and not compassionate and loving. I mean, there's places in the Bible, over 60 different places, where God's just brutal. This God in the Bible is just brutal, sending in forces to kill children and take women captive and make them their wives. And really, is that your idea of an enlightened being that wants the goodness for all mankind and mankind to live in peace? And if that is the God that's in charge here, look at the results. That's all you got to do, is look at the results that you see around you, and you got to kind of wonder what's going on here, okay? And sure, Christians will sit there all day long and say, oh, it's coming, it's coming. You know how long they've been saying that? You know how long religions have been saying, setting dates and, oh, this is the apocalypse and the apocalyptic end times and this and that. How many times have they done this and it's failed? It's not come to pass. So when something fails, when something doesn't produce, when something doesn't really give you any solace, then you have to start questioning it. And when you see world affairs in such a bad state and nothing is happening, then you have to start questioning, okay, is this reality the reality I want to be in? Is this reality my world? No. For most people, they would say, no, I want peace, I want love on the planet, I want good feelings, I want good health, I want longevity, even immortality. I want a better life than what they're dishing out to me here. So what you got to do is you got to find a different way, okay? Because organized religion is the way of control and the way of the evil one, okay? Organized religion, government, all of that stuff is a sham laid on your head since birth, Okay, your parents did it, so you do it, and their parents before them did it, and their parents with their grandparents, and blah, blah, on and on and on. The only people that were outside of that were the indigenous people, the pagan people, the people that didn't believe that they had to wait for some kind of future paradise when they looked at Earth as being a paradise right now. They looked at nature as giving them everything they needed. And nature does give you it's only the technological crap that has come in and polluted mankind and drug him off to the ghetto of false realities, okay? Taking him away from his true home, which is Mother Earth, Unsi Maka, Sophia, the goddess energy. Oh, and you know, you make a comment on a channel about Mother Earth and the goddess energy. You know, let's say I'm commenting on RT today about some incident that's happening in the world, which I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably not going to comment anymore, because you got idiots coming out of the woodwork trying to say bad things about you just because you use the term Mother Earth or the Divine Mother Earth. No, that goes against, that's a challenge to their big angry God in the sky that they gotta, you know, in the Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior. These people are absolutely nuts, okay? They come on there and they try to put you down and they try to say that you're a pagan or that you're, you know, the only way to be, you know, that stuff is so old. That stuff is such crap that it really gets, you know, it gets under my skin when I see that people are that, and without any research whatsoever. Do these people that say that they believe in certain things, have they ever researched the history of Christianity? I've covered this many times. The history of the manipulation of the Bible, the Roman Catholic Church, the propaganda, the agenda being pushed for you to feel guilty and fear and all this stuff, and where it all originated from, and how the codexes of the Bible were formed in 325 AD under Emperor Constantine, who changed everything to conform to the Catholic Church and the Savior's Son and the guilt. And they don't know any of this stuff. They're not scholars. They haven't researched, okay, anything. That's why I'm here offering you something that's real, okay, something tangible, something you can grasp onto. Use your own mind, okay. Use your own power, okay, to access different dimensions, different realities, different feelings, okay. Use your own mind, use your own spirituality, claim your own power, okay. This is not a religion. Shamanism is not a religion by any way means, although it could be classified by some people that go back and study this kind of thing. They would they would put it in the class of some kind of religious belief because that's all they know. But this goes way, it's not religion. Religion is dogma. Religion is dogma. It's rules and regulations, just like government. Rules and regulations to make you feel guilty if you fail to live up to a rule or a regulation or a precept or a concept, okay? You fail to live up to that and you walk around in some kind of hangdog mood thinking that you're condemned and that you're going to go to hell or God hates you or whatever. The spiritual realm is so much different than that, it's unbelievable. It's loving, it's kind, it's compassionate. And the true Great Spirit is the same way. And you have all these helpers there So what this channel is doing is it's a voice in the wilderness, okay? It's a voice in the wilderness. It's there to present different things to you, to help you, okay? To make you feel better, to make you feel goodness, to make you feel love, to make you feel compassion, to create a healing, okay, within yourself. That's the main thing that a shaman does, you know? A shaman heals himself first. And then, through the healing of himself, through the contact with spiritual forces and the healing of himself and the bringing himself to a fullness in spirituality, he's able to pass that on to others. So it's like, if you want to have a good feeling about being in an environment, have a shaman nearby, or you be one yourself, so that you can access these different realms and you can see for yourself. You don't have to sit around talking about, oh, I believe in an off-planet God with a big beard. I can't see him, though. I can't see him. I really don't know, if he's there, because I can't see him. So what you have to do is you have to go to a place where you can see, feel, touch, penetrating the ether, penetrating the veil, and going right there and taking a shamanistic journey through trance drumming and meditation and your own mind. That's what the powers to be have done here. They have taken away your power, and they've taken away the fact that you're just a lemming, you're just a robot, you're just somebody to be subservient to the state or subservient to the religion of the state, or subservient to whoever the order followers, like cops and military people and official people, okay, that want to put a jackboot on your neck, okay? That's what they want. That's not what we want. So in order to combat this situation, what you have to do is access different realms, access spiritual helpers, okay? Then once you access those realms and once you have your power, you're able to emanate the divine power of the divine emanation out to the collective consciousness and the holographic universe, as some would call it, or the, I would prefer to call it the energetic universe, and cause and effect, okay? You're the cause, and that will be the effect if you get yourself in line and get yourself in order and get yourself centered and get yourself in a loving, compassionate, open heart state of mind, okay? And the whole thing that you want to do is to get the power, okay, and use the power of the universe and use the power of the ether and use the power, the energetic power of the supreme intelligence. You want to use that, okay, to your benefit, to the world's benefit. Now, how many of you have danced around a fire? How many of you gone out hiking in nature? How many of you have climbed a mountain to the very top of the peak? How many of you have surfed big waves? How many of you have become totally in tune with nature? How many? Well, if you have, then you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there for today. Things for you to think about this channel and what's in store here. Just a lot of fun, a lot of drumming, a lot of good talk about places that you can go. for a real feeling of peace. I'll leave it there. Adios.